Hello everyone, welcome to Gardening by the Bay. We're here along the Digdeguash River this afternoon at the beautiful gardens referred to as Two Gays in a Garden with our wonderful hosts Trevor and Jonathan. So there's lots of exciting changes since the last time we were here, big expansions, so come along and let's see what's new. I'm here with our wonderful hosts today, Trevor Lord and Jonathan Wilcox at, as you know, Two Gays in a Garden. And we're going to see all their wonderful upgrades and expansions that they've done this year. And I hear that you've got like new beds galore to show us.
Yeah, we have 33 beds. Nobody has seen any of those yet this year. My best friend and her husband actually got a quick glimpse of them early on in the season. But as far as the public, nobody has actually had a view of these yet. So.
Well, how about that, folks? We're in for a real exclusive show today.
Wins and losses up there. There's wins and losses.
Life's about wins and losses. Come on, let's head through the garden.
All right.
Holy moly, what is this? What is this?
This one here is Love Lies Bleeding, and this is a plant that's an annual, and it actually, we grew this last year, and this is what came back this year from that one plant. So Love Lies Bleeding being an annual, we've got four of them there that came back this year. I think they're really cool. We started using them in our bouquets last year. There was a lady in St. Andrews, she said, I want the most funkiest thing you can give me. And we had just bought the plant and we was using it in our own gardens.
Yeah.
And so John and I were talking, we said, well, what can we come up with that's going to be funky? So anyways, we had the Love Lies Bleeding and we cut a bit of that out. And we actually sold, I think, 3 bouquets, I think, that day, John, with the Love Lies Bleeding in it. And this year we now use it in a lot of our bouquets.
I've never seen Love Lies Bleeding grow that tall and so lush. I mean, you could turn that into a wig.
I know. Well, I certainly could. But yeah, it's a really cool plant. Like our winter last year was an interesting one because we had hardly any snow here whatsoever. I don't know if that played in how we managed to keep this, you know, it came back from the seeds and stuff for sure, but
and does it look like the stalks grew from the original ones that you planted?
No, I think it's actually from its own seed.
From its own seed,
yeah,
okay.
I don't believe it's, when I planted it down along here, we had a bunch of extra stuff and this is where we normally would put it.
Okay.
The hot biscuits are in here, we've got snapdragons in here, we've got baby Love Lies Bleeding in here, and we've got celosia as well in here. So when I was planting it along, I seen those and I thought, I don't recognize that with a weed of any sort in these gardens. So I said, I'm going to let it go and see what happens. And then all of a sudden it started showing that it was a Love Lies Bleeding. So.
Eureka.
Yeah.
It is and this almost imitation of Love Lies Bleeding is the one you call Hot Biscuit? That's
Hot Biscuit, and I'm going to be really, really excited if some of that self-seeds and winds up coming back next year. Now, the Hot Biscuit is not a perennial, it's an annual. And
yeah, but so is your Love Lies
Bleeding. I know. Fingers crossed here
yes,
on this. So
they might like each other because they're a fabulous combination, the fuchsia and the gold.
Yeah, they work very well off of each other, yeah. So we'll see what happens with it, and yeah, I think it's fantastic.
Now I notice a lot of your plants are really planted right into the rock areas with just I presume fairly shallow earth beds. Do you do any extra covering in the winter, any protection?
No, some of the plants, depending on if it's got like a lot of branches on it, we'll cut those back because we know they're going to break off in the winter anyway. But if we're talking like a daylily or something like that, we won't even bother cutting those back. We'll leave that on there for the winter. That to us is the covering that they will get for the winter. So.
Self-protection, very good.
But these ones here, it's going to be, if they come back next year, yay. If they don't, well, we got an extra year out of the Love Lies Bleeding. So.
Well, you keep tempting us. Like there's all little things that we have to come back for next year.
You wait till next year. John and I have a piece going on up top here that's going to be really interesting, John. So yeah, just a little bit. John's off in the distance here. So, but it's we're going to be transforming the top section of this section, and yeah. But today we've got a whole new section of the beds that we put in last year, and we're also going to be looking at, of course, the new cut flower beds that we have up top. So there's an awful lot to see. We got the event center that we've had put in this spring as well. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff to look at.
We're going to have to encourage people to go back to our earlier shows that we taped when you had just opened the garden up, and so that they can really do an analysis, a comparison, because my soul, the differences are truly mind-boggling, folks.
Yeah.
All the plants here, I'm sure they've doubled at least in height since we were here the first time.
This has been a good summer as far as moisture goes, because I think last time we did this, we had July was nothing but rain, and then June and August was nothing but dry, so we were worried about what was growing. This year we've had a fair amount of rain, hit and miss here, but it's been like torrentials that we've been getting nailed with. But the beds and stuff are holding up quite well. But what we'll see here is beds that are established and versus the new beds that we have up top for our cut flowers, how we have wins and losses in there because of what we're looking at for weather and rain and how we built the beds and things that we learned from there. So,
all right, good. Well, you can give us some lessons, and maybe we'll all learn a few tricks.
We're learning lessons.
Let's keep going, mister. You've got lots to show us,
I'm
sure.
Cone flowers. We've got really cool ones over here on the side, so it should be really interesting.
All right. So is this seems quite different to me from the last time we were here. What's the new story?
Well, with this area here, what we're trying to do is we want to try to build it so that you don't see the top portion of the property. That is beyond the white fence or the white pergola up here.
Okay.
We wanted to try to build this up a little bit stronger down here with some more height and stuff like that. So this year we're now playing around with some different types of, building bulk sections here, trying to make sure that we don't have all low stuff on the front and high stuff in the back. We want to try to get a little bit of mix of everything that's going on.
Okay, your smoke bush is doing fantastic. A wonderful contrast against the birch.
It is beautiful, but if it would smoke, I'd be even much happier. But the deer have knocked this down twice now on us. Oh. Last year we wrapped it so the deer wouldn't get it, and half of it rotted or died off. If you look at the top of it, you can see it's sort of starting to get a little bit more stems there.
Yep.
So I'm thinking that it's going to get above the deer, so we should be okay on that. And deer really don't bother us that much, but there's a few things that it wants to come in and tear out, and that's one of them.
Oh, dear.
But this one is, Jonathan wanted to do this all in cone flowers. So we noticed last year that there was the double pinks out here. And so like you can see the double pink here on the end. These are all singles here, of course. These make great cut flowers, and these are very, very, very hardy plants. It takes a lot to knock these out. But just the tops of these alone, like you've got the yellows over there, you've got the reds in these ones here, the doubles are in those, and there's a new one that is, we have a green twist as well. There's none of them, I don't think, in this bed, but it's an actual green coneflower, which is gorgeous.
Oh, really pretty.
So yeah, so up along here, we've got a lot of things in different heights. In this section here for like the next 10 feet or so, I think there's 13 new daylilies in there, all different types. We actually have the names of them now, but we've got these through the Alan Banks. We buy from him usually. He does his big sale in February. It's online. But we have fantastic results from Alan's product. And Alan breeds them. He makes his, he grafts and he does all that fancy stuff with them to create these new colors and stuff. So,
your bee balm is terrific.
They're doing well. We have a variegated up here as well that we'll get a chance to take, right here actually. So this one is a variegated sedum. We tried that last year, is the first year for it, so this is the first year for it coming back for a full season.
So it's the leaf that's variegated, that's quite interesting.
It's gorgeous, yeah, and it'll have a pink tuft on the tops of those as well. But yeah, the bee balm's doing fantastic. I love bee balm.
Yep.
So the yarrow is doing really well. Of course, it's starting to run its series, but I love yarrow. There's so many different colors of that now. We've got another section up in the rock section up here on the flats that has, I think there's probably 10 or 12 different colored yarrows in there now.
And do you have trouble with them becoming invasive and spreading?
Not what we've seen so far. These ones here are doing very well. I find I can handle them growing out this way because I'll just take a shovel and cut off the section that I don't want, that it's starting to move out on. But I've not seen anything where it's actually starting here and then popping up in different areas of the garden. Those I don't even want in the gardens, because once they get started, they are torturous to try to get rid of.
Yes,
but
have
these
one.
here do really well for us.
Okay, I think it's the old wild white yarrow that is
Yeah.
what I inherited and
They
took
can
over.
be very.
Yeah.
So this is the dwarf bee balm here. These will come in different colors. It's either pink, purple, or reds.
This lily, this daylily, is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Is that a daylily or a different type?
No, it's definitely daylily. Daylilies will come in a lot of different sizes. Some of them can be as small as like 3 or 4 centimeters across. These ones here are probably like your 4 and 5 inches. This one in back that's already gone out of season,
Yeah,
that's a
this one?
spider daylily, which has a blossom that is over the size of my hand.
Wow.
That one was lime green in color, and the powerful, like you put that next to the yellow,
Yeah.
and there was just so much power in that color, and they were just like little spills that were coming off of it. It was gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
Great.
So
And
we're really hoping
they're
for a
all
lot.
perennials, right?
Yeah, definitely all
Okay.
perennials. Yeah, for
Good.
sure.
And more coneflower, they're
Yeah.
doing great.
I love just the pop of them here and there. It just
Yep.
adds so much more energy to the gardens, because coneflowers are one of the things that will stay for quite a while.
Yep.
So
And is this a mint?
no, this is Sylvia.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So
yeah.
they are early on. We could have cut that back and got a second growth out of it, but we just let it go this year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of happy with the height on it, but normally if we cut it back, we wouldn't get that type of a height. But
Yeah, I was going to
yeah,
say it's quite tall.
Yeah.
Everything seems to be
it likes it here.
double size
Yeah,
here.
it's doing very well. And in the back corner here, we've got the hibiscus.
Oh, with the purple leaves?
Yeah, and that one will be, I think, pink and white in color. But the hibiscus is, a lot of people are familiar with the one that's in people's homes.
The tropical ones?
Yeah, and these hibiscus are, of course, perennial for our zones. But the only thing with the hibiscus is, what people need to remember is they are one of the last things that will come
Yep.
up in your garden.
Yep.
You're going to go out there at the 1st of June and see nothing but 4 or 5 little sticks sticking out of the ground. Just leave it alone. It will do fine. A lot of people dig those out way too early.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes, I've heard that, and I've had that same experience. I had been warned, and I remember the first time I thought, I'm sure it's dead. But sure enough, it just,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you just have to be cautious with it.
And they're going to be a late August to September bloom. So if you're
and they're
looking for a
usually
little bit long,
huge blossoms. I've
yes.
had some that were the width of my hand.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and they are gorgeous. Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of power in their blooms as well. And
Yep.
this is Rudbeckia. This is the Sierra series here, part of that. So, but yeah, Astilbes doing
Yep.
great. Nice long stems on those. This one here is a shrub. We had it over in front of the house, did terrible. I don't even know what it's called. And we moved it over here, and we thought it would never last the winter. And it's come back very strong for us. But
Beautiful silvery leaf and lovely scent to it as well.
yeah. And I don't know, there might be a tag someplace hidden there. I don't
Yeah.
know on that. But
Do you ever use any of the apps for matching plants to names, or
my Google is Jonathan.
Jonathan Google? Oh, okay.
He does.
We'll have to check
he does
with him
all
later.
of that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But Jonathan wanted to get into grasses a bit, and
Okay.
I love this look through here.
And
You've
the
got,
pop of that fabulous yellow behind it,
Yes.
in front of it rather.
and then
just
we're going to have
really
the white and the pink on that hibiscus behind
Behind it,
will be in
okay.
bloom as well. And those will be like 5 inches across at least. They're going to be huge flowers on that. So this section right here is about to get some major color. But the grasses, we've just started dabbling in those, but they look fantastic. It's strange, you look at a piece of grass and you wouldn't think there's much there, but
there's a
there's
lot.
some nice variegation in
Yeah.
those, and the tufts that come on the top of them are really cool.
And
then-
do you use them in any of your arrangements?
yeah,
in
we'll use them
fall?
towards the fall arrangements. We don't usually deal with use them in the spring or the summer time, but in the fall we will, especially the ones on the end here, because their stem will come up, and then there'll be this big hook that'll come out on the side in the
Okay.
leaf, and they look pretty cool in a bouquet as well. So,
Neat.
and the phlox, of course, they're still in bloom and doing quite well. I love the darker colors.
Yeah.
So,
fabulous.
and another variegated sedum here as well.
And what's the dark curly green leaf in
That
behind the
is
sedum?
juga.
Oh, it is a juga.
Yeah,
That
it's a juga.
size?
So that's a ground cover.
Yes.
That's one of those, if you don't want it to, like, we'll let it butt up against other plants, but if it starts to get anywhere like invasive into it, I'll just grab a chunk and rip her off. So,
Okay.
and it doesn't bother them at all. So, and then we got the tamarack in behind. That will grow upwards of 15 feet.
So this is still part of this is your newer section this year, and we're moving up towards your one of your future renovations, right?
Yeah, there's a huge renovation going to be happening here this year. So,
Okay.
but yeah, we got a couple of cool plants in here. This one is spiderwort, and I've heard like spiderwort is one that really will spread a lot. We've got it, I think, well contained in here. This is the second summer for it, so it's actually doing quite well. But
yeah.
I think it's just a nice pop, and I like how the arms or the branches and stuff just go crazy on it.
I've never seen one that tall. Mine is about half that height.
So, but it's doing well there. It seems to like it. And then the yuccas. This is the first time we've ever had yuccas that grew to that size. They look great. Yeah, that's one of those things. We've moved them 2 or 3 times, and they seem happy with that position. So we're just going to leave them there.
Okay.
But there's not much else in that section. It's going to remain the same.
Oh, but there's
So-
something stunning there.
There is.
More of those yellow lilies back there, and look at the size of those hydrangea blossoms.
What a nice pop though, right? I mean, you're
Right.
standing here and you're looking into that, and you got the phlox there and the hydrangeas in the back, and you got the daylilies in the front, and it's just the little wee pieces of pops of colors and stuff that show up there. And so this one, that's the hibiscus, one of the hibiscus that we have here. And this one we just bought. That's why it's in this much of a bloom. But it is a really cool plant.
It is gorgeous.
Yeah, and that's the size that they'll all get for as far as the blooms go on them. This is supposed to be a climbing rose that has a mind of its own, of course.
Oh.
So we're going to end up training this to come up and through here, but we're going to be changing this out as well.
That's it. You see, it doesn't like this particular trellis.
It doesn't like the color.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants black iron, so we're going to do that for it. So, but there's 31 roses in this bed.
31?
And, yep, they're all coming out.
As in being removed?
Yeah, we've got a vision.
Tell me about this vision. 'cause
Well,
this vision's pretty good.
it is. It doesn't look too bad. So we're going to be putting our building with the cooler in it for holding our flowers and stuff over in the spring, like the peonies and the tulips and stuff like that.
Okay.
Is going right in that corner. So that entire corner has to come out.
I see.
So we are going to be mounding this and creating a sunken sitting area with 2 connecting trails. There's one that's going to go up around the top. This one's going to come around this side, and it's going to be bermed on all sides of it on the outside edges. So you'll be sort of walking through a bermed section to get to that building over in that corner.
Oh,
So
sounds great.
these are all coming out, and a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, you're ripping the gardens apart. Everything here we're going to be able to reuse.
I hope. Yes.
So we're going to be just moving everything around. Now we've bought, in here we've got 4 of the lemon lace elderberries. Those 4 lemon lace elderberries are going to be staying. We're going to make this so that once you come through here, we want the height on this side, and we also want to have height on this side. So
Okay.
that when you come through here, you're going to be able to see, like the lemon lace elderberry will grow up and grow out. So we're going to be able to plant a lot of stuff in here that you're still going to have your colors of flower, whether it be like a coneflower, your hostas, or your phlox, or, you know, gaillardias. You're going to be able to see all these little flowers through it, but you're still going to have that height, so you feel like you're walking through something.
Through a little
So,
corridor.
yep.
Okay.
And it's going to take you right straight up to the sitting area that's going to be up in the other pocket. But this is going to be mounded so that you can see it, but you really can't see the sitting area itself in its full glory, sort of thing. So, yeah.
I can interpret that as an invitation to come back and see
Yes.
it next summer.
You can go back and grab a shovel.
Oh, well,
Give us a hand.
I think
Give
I'm
us a
busy. I
hand.
think I'm busy that day. So this one now, is this the same elderberry
Yep.
here?
So there's 4 of them along here. That's going to help us give this sheltered area.
Okay.
And then we're going to be adding another one here and one in here. Because you can see the lemon lace elderberry behind us. That's already in full bloom. That's the height it will get.
That's going to be full height.
Yeah,
Okay.
so this is going to be really, now this is a hydrangea.
I was going to say, beautiful
But
blossoms on it.
look at the blooms on it. And
Yeah,
this is
that's
one
great.
that I did a cutting off of. So I had one Jonathan had a branch that broke off, and I went sneaking off with it and stuck it in the ground, or stuck it in a pot. And yeah, this one's coming back. So when you get the lemon lace elderberry on either side of that,
it'll be stunning.
really pull some colors.
And what
stuff
about
in.
the black elderberry?
The black tower, we're not going to incorporate it here because the black tower will get like 12 to 13 feet, and it'll have a monstrous spread on it.
Okay.
It would just be way too much for this area, I think. So we want the height, but we don't want something that's going to overpower everything in here.
All right,
so.
and you're going to still have a lot of colorful undergrowth.
Yeah, we're going to leave some of the roses in here. So you can see we've got Rose of Sharon over here in the white, and there's another one over here in the pink. Those will be, this area right now is just a holding bin for some of these plants that we're going to be using in this new expansion that's going on here.
Okay.
Now there's a variegated grass you can see in there as well on the other side of the statue. There's another one over here.
Zebra grass?
Yeah,
Okay.
those will grow 6 feet tall.
Oh,
so
wow.
they're going to be a really nice pop of interest, I think. But we've got to give them a little bit of shade as well. So.
And that yellow and green combo is going to be very complementary with the lemon.
The lemon lace elderberries,
elderberry,
and I think that it's going to be fantastic. So I haven't seen that type of a grass before, so it's going to be interesting. And the other thing is we need to see how well it's going to winter over.
Right. Yes.
Because it's a new plant for us. So.
Yep.
But yeah, the rose garden was our first intention for here. Like underneath here, there's over 450 daffodils in this one bed.
Okay.
So like the spring of the year, this is just a shock of color. So.
And are you going to relocate them, or are you going to leave them
where
they are?
We're going to dig up what we can because this section's staying the same, and then we're going to start the berm here.
Okay.
So we'll try to get them out. If we can't, then we're going to lose them. It's not the first time. But if we can get them, then we'll just raise them up.
Okay. Or move them more forward to the lower level.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of the roses will stay, but the other roses, we'll take these out, and then we're just going to pop them into the gardens in different areas.
Okay.
It's just not the pop we were hoping for here. So we need to liven it up. It's just not John and I. So.
Okay. Yeah, the roses do tend to have a very short bloom period.
Yeah.
And you guys do. You love color, and the background is just fabulous.
Yeah. And there's some beautiful colors in the roses, and there's some mixed colors. Like we've got one that starts off pink and goes to purple. So they're really cool colors in here. It's just there's too much stock and not enough color for us. So yeah,
great.
But it's a cool garden. It's getting there. And of course we got the ajugas and stuff in here as well. So we'll be moving them around so that into other parts of the gardens too. So I like the nice clumps of them here and there, but I don't think I want them to take over the entire bed. So and the smoke bush, we've got one here. In the green, we're going to be moving that I think out to the corner as well.
Okay.
So we'll have the lemon on this side and then the green smoke bush on the other side of it. So.
And does the green smoke bush get as high and tall as the burgundy ones?
This one is supposed to be, I believe, 5 feet, I think. So I think it's 5 feet for that one.
Okay.
A friend of mine in Blacks Harbor actually has one, and it's gorgeous. Okay. And it looks to be in its full bloom stage still.
All right.
So, but yeah, the hibiscus are gorgeous.
And right behind me here, we have some Joe Pye weed.
Yes, yeah, and Joe Pye weed is something that people say is another one that will spread heavily. This has stayed in its own little spot and is doing great there.
So now this elderberry, how old is this one?
This is a 2-year plant.
2 years, that's full height in 2 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it loves the spot, otherwise we wouldn't be getting as much out of it as we are.
Yeah, the variegation is absolutely fabulous.
It is. But you know, the bee balm behind it, I'm finding that the taller the plants are on the front, bee balm will stay with them.
Oh, okay.
Bee balm, like it doesn't, it doesn't dwarf itself sort of back there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, this bee balm here is over 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And doing quite well. Like when that was in its full glory, it looked really sharp off of the lemon lace here.
Contrast,
so, yeah. And I like of course, the cone flowers underneath it.
Yeah.
So
They're beautiful.
but it's a really nice contrast, because John and I was always about, you put a plant here and you separate, and we wanted all the separations and stuff, and now we're starting to want to put some of these pieces together and see how they actually work together to create beauty, you know. So.
And your coleus, they're annuals that you start every year?
They say that clematis wants the roots,
Cool roots, yep.
roots, so that's why we put the coleus in front of it.
Yep, a little bit
but
of
we
shade.
we started those from seed this year and did quite well.
So apparently next time this year we're going to be standing with beautiful lace elderberry branches shadowing us.
I think so. Yeah, I think we always have a plan and then it gets changed. Right now we're both really excited about this new expansion. I think this whole section is, once it gets transformed, it's going to be a whole new oasis of its own. I can't wait to see the end result. It's just like a fresh canvas and you're painting a whole new picture. It's really exciting for us. So even using the same flowers that are already here.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you might get one day of hard labor out of me, and maybe we'll come back perhaps and catch you when you're in the midst of the transformation.
That would be fun.
Now you've got a cliff here apparently that I have to climb, but apparently you've got some new flower beds up there.
The hidden beds, yeah.
The hidden
so
beds.
It's,
And this is the first time public exposure.
It is, yeah.
Okay.
There's only 2 people that have seen this other than us, which would be my best friend and her husband. So up top we have 33 beds up there. It's brand new to the work that was done by J. Smith Excavation. They flattened it off there, put a road in up for us, and so it's in its infancy.
Okay.
We know things that we did right, things we did wrong. We know what we need to do to improve. So we have a lot of things that are going to be changing there as well this fall. So
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be
So
fun.
we'll get a preview today
Yeah.
and
We'll see
another
some
follow-up
color.
next year. Okay, great. Well, it's quite the cliff. Let's get going.
All right.
We've run out of time for today's show, but Jonathan and Trevor have so much more to show us. On the next Gardening by the Bay, we'll walk up the hill and tour the newest addition to their garden. We hope you'll join us then.